Okay, Snare, this is what I've brought to play your foul hordes with. I have a squad of attack marines here. They're all with bolters, apart from this guy has a melter gun. This guy has a combi weapon. They come with a rhino to get him in and out of trouble. Haven't painted inside it, but it does open. So that's cool. Then we got a dreadnought here. Now, this dreadnought has a las cannon. It's twin linked and it goes for armor like shit. So you're fucked with that one, sunshine. I got a terminator with a storm bolter, and also a bike marine with twin linked bolter, so you can drive around and shoot at you.
Lee, you know you're playing Eldar today.
No, I'm playing Marines. Look, here they are.
No. We agreed this. Well, I agreed this. You're playing Eldar.
But I spent hundreds of pounds on Marines.
You don't have a choice. I decided you're playing Eldar today.
I forewent my nightly tug to get these painted.
I don't care.
Okay. What about Tau? Can I play Tau?
No, you can't play Tau. Well, not right now. Maybe it's DLC in the future, but right now, no. You're playing Eldar. Deal with it.
What about Trevor? Can I have Trevor? Hi guys, welcome to another Obite review, and today we are reviewing the latest in the Dawn of War series, based in the popular 40k grimdark future.
Where everything is roses and daisies and
death.
Death.
Everything.
Yes, it's another classic RTS style game.
It is very much. Well, it's Dawn of War, which is the RTS games for Warhammer 40k, so that would be entirely in line. It was developed by Relic, which is the same guys that did the previous one, and I think the first one as well, though that's going back a few, so I'm not sure.
I think it's 2004 the first one came out.
That's going back a few.
Indeed it is.
It is.
So I know that Lee has a lot to say about this game.
I have a lot to say about this game because I am a bit of a sucker for Warhammer 40k, as you may have realised from our opening skit.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Wiggle it.
Even that song went quite a few years back.
Well, my brain got full up back then. Shut up.
But yeah, one thing I wanted to just point out about the experience of this game. So Lee has played all of the previous Dawn of Wars.
I have.
So he's got a nice plethora of experience, whereas I have not played the previous Dawn of Wars, and I've had minimal in sort of experience with 40k. I've played some RPG evenings with friends with Dark Heresy, but I haven't gone into like tabletop gaming of it. Mm-hmm. So I'm coming at it quite fresh, so you've got a nice balanced view, haven't you?
I actually had the very first edition, the Rogue Trader edition, back in the day.
Check you out.
Yeah, OG gangster, man. No, G's the gangster, so it's original gangster. Anyway, fuck that up. Hey.
So if I just explain my opinions of the game, then I shall let Lee fly. Okay?
Fly like a birdie.
So this game is a basic RTS game. I use the word basic, but it's an RTS game. Okay, building up your resources or having some fights, building squads, organising and fighting in real time. Strategy.
Yes, well done.
So this game involves characters and units from the 40k universe, in which you have a number of different campaign options. Well, that's one of the options: multiplayer and skirmish. Easy now, you'll get your time. But this game will either be suitable for somebody that wants to just play the one-player, single-player campaigns and some skirmishes, or get into multiplayer, which I understand from our discussions that the multiplayer is something that is kind of a big thing for the Dawn of War franchise. Now, I will say at the outset, I was kind of underwhelmed by the game. It feels like it's a little bit old. And then we'll go into a lot of the detail in just a second, but I'll let Lee spark up that firework, and off you go, mate.
Okie dokie.
Floor's yours.
Yeah, I know, it's my house.
That's true. And this camera's mine, so the camera is yours.
Okay, thank you.
You can't keep it.
Oh. Never mind. Anyway, okay, so I have a lot of problems with Dawn of War 3.
Easy, boy, easy.
It's okay, I'm not going mental. It's not like Watch Dogs 2 level of repulsion.
In fact, he's far more animated about this game, probably because you care about it.
Yes, I mean, like I said, I've been on the Warhammer bandwagon for years. I sort of fell out of it and then came back to it again fairly recently, about a year ago. But I love all the games. Like Warhammer Space Marine is fucking excellent. It has Mark Strong voicing the main characters there.
Such a good voice, that man.
Yeah, when he's not tearing androids' heads off in giant form. Prometheus joke.
Topical.
But my main problem with Dawn of War 3 is you have 3 factions. You have the Eldar, you have the Space Marines, and you have the Orcs, which are kind of like the most vanilla-y factions, if you like. I mean, there are a lot more interesting. I mean, I'm personally a Space Marine player, so whatever, I'm bored. But I mean, you have like Dark Eldar, Tyrannids, Necrons, Astromonitarum, Tau. Proud little bastards.
He doesn't like Tau.
I don't like Tau. My lodger plays as Tau, and he gets like 50 Tau for every 1 Marine I can have, and it pisses me off. And they can all shoot farther than I can.
Back on track.
And they get 3 turrets.
But I think one point there is that this game is trying to appeal to a lot of different kinds of people. They're trying to cover all bases rather than doing something or aiming at a certain group really, really focused.
Yeah, I think what we're probably going to do is we're probably going to see like £5 and you'll get Dark Eldar, or £5 and you'll get Tyrannids. I think it's going to be like that. I think you'll see factions appearing as DLC.
Maybe you're going to get like a 5-mission campaign thing and then play some multiplayer.
No, they'll probably just put the races in just for use in skirmish and multiplayer. That would be my guess. I mean, because certainly I don't think their focus on this particular version of this game is on single player at all.
No.
I think it's very much geared up for multiplayer. The campaign forces you to switch between factions, so you don't get a campaign per faction. You get one campaign and you play a mission as Marines, and then 2 as Orcs and 1 as Eldar, and you don't get any connection to these characters because you're jumping around all over the damn place.
It almost wouldn't be as bad if you did a chunk of Marines like the easy option, then the medium game might be the Eldar, and then the hard game be the Orcs or something like that.
Yeah, you wanted to spend...
split it across.
I mean, you go back to the Marines like 5 missions in and he's like, oh, I've got to go save my friend Jonas the librarian. And you're like, I don't care. I've done 1 mission with you like 4 missions ago. Who the fuck are you again?
Yeah, you don't get any connection to characters. And certainly because of somebody like me who is not familiar with the universe and the characters and the units, being able to see what you've got in front of you anyway is quite difficult. You get a line of available troops that you've created, built, or kind of absorbed into your gameplay along the bottom, but they're all in exactly the same pose, and maybe a very, very tiny symbol that's different, which is really hard to see even on a large monitor. So I just didn't have any connection to anyone in the game, really. Despite the voice acting being pretty good. That's fair enough. Let's give them a good point before we completely smash them. But the voice acting is good, and there's an option to hear more in between missions or skip it entirely. So well done for giving us the choice. But at the same time, I don't care about these people. There's like the exposition is squished so much into these little sections that you're told everything and not shown anything, and it feels it suffers in that respect.
Yeah, I think also it's kind of like try to take elements from the first Dawn of War and from the second Dawn of War, but you haven't taken the best bits. The Dawn of War 2, for instance, you couldn't base build in it. You were given like units to go around and you could capture points which you could reinforce from and stuff like that, but there was no like base building, so you wouldn't turret up, you'd have to keep moving. So it was more sort of almost like an action RPG in the fact that you had like these units that you move around and attack, and you also loot stuff, and you could equip your characters with different armors and weapons and sort of accessories and all this, and even in an expansion you could actually be influenced by chaos and sort of become a chaos marine, which is really interesting. But did they do any of that?
Well, no. And the other thing this game suffers from in the campaign, because you are switching between factions, you don't get used to a playstyle or the units you've got at your disposal. So if you are playing the Space Marines and you have some Assault Marines, ones that can jump, so they can literally do a kind of a leap attack onto another particular unit or a space. So that's great. Okay, I can traverse the terrain in a way I want to with these units. Then the next mission you're playing as Orcs, and you're like, well, I can't do that anymore. Right, so what have I got? And you feel like you're back to square one. So you're constantly having to learn and remember not just one faction of units and talents, but also others as well, because you're jumping between all over the place.
And let's face it, it's most players will have a favourite faction. And I mean, I don't find Eldar particularly interesting. I'm not really wanting to play Eldar. Orcs are just Zerg rushes, really, in the game. You just have so many units, they just sort of overwhelm things.
And they're fun to listen to.
They are fun to listen to, although it does seem to have sort of spread. It's like the orcs in Shadow of Mordor are exactly the same as like...
I'm going to come and beat your head in.
War Daka.
He's a silly human. Yeah. But I do love the orcs and how they speak. It's kind of exactly how you'd expect them to speak. So they haven't got away from that formula. That's fine. But in terms of actual gameplay, you still get that good voice acting from the units themselves within the game.
Yeah.
That's another good point. But to be honest, some of the mechanics just feel wrong. Like really simple things. So I don't understand the squad health thing. So I'm saying that like you know what we're talking about. Sorry. Right. So instead of individual soldiers having their health bars, you have a squad that you produce. So you might produce a squad of assault marines. There'll be like 5 or 6 of them. And the health bar represents all of them. Okay, fine. Okay. But it represents all of them. So as they lose health, they lose a person. So one might die, so you know you've got like 80% of your health left or whatever. That's great, but that means you've got one less gun. So not only have you lost health, you've lost your damage. Have you? I don't know. It's hard to gauge.
Yeah, I would have said so.
So it kind of messes with your head. When you're dealing with length of bars rather than numbers, and things are happening really quickly.
Yeah, it is pretty fast for an RTS.
You could be heading up against a different unit or a bunch of units, and one of each side is going to die pretty fucking quickly. It doesn't seem to be much bullet sponge, which I remember from other RTS games, where it's like, okay, they're engaging with this unit over here, and then you can sneak in around the back or flank them on the side. By the time you've worked out which units are what, where you need to get them to in order to do that manoeuvre, they've killed that unit.
Yeah.
So you might as well just create a mass army and walk around the map.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of strange design decisions for my money. The resource element of it is painful.
Oh, it doesn't make any sense.
I mean, because you have 2 resources. I think it's requisition and power.
Mm-hmm.
Requisition, you get like tons of it, stupid fast.
You might as well breathe it.
Yeah. And power, you get very little of it, very slowly.
And you need lots of it.
And you're like, I've got nothing to upgrade, and like your lead character's whining at you about having a lot of resources, and you're like, yeah, but I don't have any fucking power to do anything with.
I think the problem is that in previous games, it's almost like there might be a map where there is a set number of resources to mine, like Tiberium in the old Command & Conquer series, which I did play some of when I was younger, that, if there was no Tiberium left, it would grow back slowly, but it was there. You got what was there, that was it, boom, done, lovely job. In this, you've got a set number of points called listening posts. Well, no, that's the structures on top, isn't it? But the resource points themselves, they're arbitrarily got power and requisition generating spots in them. But they're the only places you can get these from. Mm-hmm. So you can go and build your listening...
you can find little sort of canisters of it.
Yes, okay, yeah, but they don't come back, do they?
No.
So these resource points would generate your currency, at which point they're so far spread around the way on the map that it doesn't really make sense to have them. You have to go and explore out, capture it, put a listening post, which is some kind of minimal defense, and then upgrade those through tiers, which you can't do till you upgrade your own base stuff if you have a base,
which you need power
in the campaign, which you need power to do. So it kind of goes round and round, but it generates it so slowly, and it's not prolific anywhere. So they might be trying to do that to stop people creating these large armies and going off on the wander. That's fine, but it makes it such a drawn-out game.
Yeah, I mean, in the first one, you still had requisition and power as your 2 primary means of buying anything or upgrading anything. But the thing is, you could build power generators. Like, you could just have a farm of them and just if you were not generating enough power, you just built more generators, and they didn't cost power to build those.
Yeah.
Just requisition, and vice versa. When you were capturing stuff, it didn't cost any power to do it, any requisition, because the upgrade was paid for by the power, so it was balanced in that way. In this, though, you just they're spread so far around the map, and you don't have the ability to deploy defensive structures other than the listening post. So you have to commit members of your army to each one, and you have an army cap, or you have to have a force that can wander around the map and just deal with little squads of orcs that go up and start dinking on your resource points. Because if they start taking those away from me, it's going to grind or a halt. You're not going to be able to build or upgrade anything.
See, what I don't understand, maybe I missed the tutorial part, but I don't think there's any mechanic for a patrol unit.
Oh, you mean setting sort of a route?
Set a route, set them on patrol, because that would solve a lot of the problems there.
Well, I don't know, because you don't know which one's going to get attacked, so where in his patrol he would be could be worse than if you just stuck him in the middle.
But that could be part of the strategy to have part of the patrol going on for those longer games. But like you said, you have to create a massive group of army with an army cap, which allows you to go over the army cap as well. I don't understand. There was moments where I was say 248 army units, and I was building something, and it took me to my cap was 250, it took me to 254. So what if it's a cap is a cap?
I think it actually, from the way it's worked in past games with army caps, it penalises your resource income.
But I couldn't build any more
because it's upkeep.
Yeah, I couldn't build any more. I would appreciate that, but I didn't get that feeling.
No, I haven't gone over it yet. So.
But there's also in this game you have the mechanic of elites, which I don't know if they were in the previous ones.
You had hero units in the previous ones. In the second one, they were more characters because obviously you could switch out their armor and stuff like that. In this one, though, they're just.
It seems to me it's a broken mechanic. It's they give you the choice of kind of buying and arranging what those characters can do. When you get the new elites, you can unlock them for awards when you've completed the campaign missions. I don't know if you get anything for skirmishes, etc.
I didn't finish the one skirmish I played because he turned up and we had to start filming.
But you get the option to unlock with another currency called skulls, which you get for completing campaign missions. Unlocking other elites, so you can kind of create your elite army, which then gets unlocked with a certain, I can't remember what those diamond points are called.
Oh,
they're like
yeah, I know what you mean.
Reputation points or elite points or something like that. But they I don't know how you earn those. I've suddenly looked down and gone, oh, I can unlock both of my elites now. I completely forgot about that. So with the elites, they don't just die, and you don't have to make them again. You just get a cooldown timer when they die. But you can have these 3 elites running around with the rest of your army. And I'm the kind of person that selects everyone as control 1 and then goes on a rampage, right? So my problem is that if I want to use the special attacks of one particular elite, which you generally have 2 offensive attacks and then a couple of passives. So you might have a jumping hammer smash from the Space Marines.
Gabriel Angelus.
And who we thought was Mark Strong.
We did for a little while.
But it's not. But if you like Mark Strong's voice, it's like him. But yeah, so you have this jumping hammer attack, and I was like, that's pretty cool. I can use that to traverse over some gaps and kill some people in some funny old places that are just shooting off and killing off my guards. But then he dies, and then you have to bring him back. When you bring him back, the quick selection, when you push 1 to select the whole group of army, it gives you the options of the first elite, but it's not the elite that I was used to and using the hammer. It was the guy who had a different attack, which is some kind of sniping attack. So I was like, well, how do I get to that? Because the hammer attack was there before. I can't do it now. I've now got to push F1 to select you, and just too many buttons, man. Too many buttons.
Too many buttons.
But it just felt like if you're going to show one set of elite activity, then give me the option to switch around the elites quickly. If there is that option, I'm just a fucking noob, didn't understand where it was. It was just too much stuff happening too quickly. and I got kind of lost. Otherwise, I just selected everyone, went on a rampage, and that worked so far. Out of 11 missions that I've played of the game, I presume there must be about 20, but they do get, the difficulty does ramp up quite a bit. But I'd say about 8 of the 11 I've played so far, where I could just built up an army, fucking decimated the opponents, search and destroy, and so the elites are good, but I don't think they've been executed very well.
No, and one thing that we both have in common when it comes to RTS is we're both turtlers. We both like to build a big base with lots of defences and then build up an army inside our perimeter and then just... Woof.
It's the RTS equivalent of putting your toe in a swimming pool, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, oh no, it's a little... Oh no, it's warming up a bit. Right, I'll put in my ankle now. Oh no, it's really, really cold. Oh no, okay, come back a bit. It's that equivalent.
And then a bomb when it's...
Yeah.
when it's just right.
No one's around. No one can see me. Yeah. Let's go.
But the lack of defensive structures in this game make that really difficult to do because your perimeter is enforced by your units. So you're having to contribute some of your army in base security. They eventually get whittled down, so you have to build new ones for that, which drains your resources. And then the skirmish ones, which is also the case with the multiplayer, is you have 2 shield generators, 2 turrets, and a power core. And you need to take the shield generators down first, then the turrets, then the power core, and that's how you win the game. Except your base is here, so here. You got a shield generator over here, shield generator over here, and you start out with no units. So you're like, oh, quick, get me a squad of Marines or whatever. So you get a squad of Marines, and this squad of Orcs comes up and attacks this shield generator. So you send your squad of Marines over there, deal with that threat, which they eventually do. But by which time, another squad of Orcs is attacking this generator. So you're trying to build more Marines. Meanwhile, this Marine is running all the way back over here to this shield generator to defend that one, and the generators are gradually getting damaged, and you're just running back and forth.
Fly, my pretties. He's off.
Oh, no, it's just... let me capture, like, resource points. In the first game, you put a listening post on, but you could upgrade it twice. So, first one gave it a gun, second one gave it a big gun, and you could put turrets around it. So, you could essentially capture that resource point, put enough armaments around the damn thing, you didn't actually have to worry about it anymore. So, you could concentrate on attacking. It's a really reactive and defensive style of gameplay they're enforcing. And because it's counter to what they're trying to do as well, because they've got the resource points spread all across the map. So they're trying to encourage you to like go out and sort of like capture them and take control of more of the map, but they haven't given you the tools to secure any of it.
And I think one of the big problems you've got is that each of these 3 factions are pretty much the same in terms of what they've got to offer, but the mechanics of how they get used are so slightly different that it fucks you off when you end up playing a different one. Yeah,
so like the Space Marines, you build an armory and then you can upgrade your weapons. With Orcs, they have to pick up scrap.
Yeah, and if you've got a massive, because they have lots of numbers, a massive horde together to try and get them to use the scrap to upgrade, and you're trying to find the fucking unit you want on screen, it's quite difficult. But that's the thing, it seems to me that there's no way for a lesser force to win in this game. So if you were in a skirmish or a multiplayer, it might be different. I haven't tried the multiplayer yet, that's honestly. But in terms of you would build up a bigger force, you would win because you just go woof. But it seems to me that with a lesser force, there's no like skill or precision about it. It's just brute force. So if I've got more Eldar than you've got Space Marines, I'm going to win because I've got there first. I've got I send off my attack to you, and then I would win. That's the way it feels. But there's not enough difference between the units. So you've got heavy elite units, you've got infantry, and I presume that in other RTSs it was always the same thing as well. But you had the specials. You had like the what was her name in Command and Conquer?
Tanya.
Tanya, that was it. So Tanya could just like shoot people one shot and go through and kill people and stuff. That was like a special thing.
Red Alert, or
I think it was Red Alert.
Yeah.
But you had that kind of thing going on, and in this game you don't have anything like that. You have one special in each faction. One's got an electrical storm, another one's got an orbital strike. A Space Marine's got orbital strike, and I think there's an asteroid tractor beam thing from the Orcs. And that's great, fine, but that's on a cooldown, so it's not like a permanent,
Yeah.
persistent unit. So it felt to me like there's no skill involved in having a big force and just going woof.
Yeah, I mean, but that's been a common failing in RTS games for years. I mean, it's called Zerg Rush, after StarCraft 1. You just build up like a big, because you get like the Zerglings, and they were cheap units, and you get like tons of them, and you would just build up like hundreds of these bastards, and then just fucking, you just went out like a tsunami of claws. But
it works.
It does work, yeah, but it's really uninteresting though, because not the Zerg Rush tactic, but in previous games they would have like bespoke animations for like killing units. So if you had an assault marine with like a bolt pistol and a chainsword, you'd like slash an orc and the orc go down his knees and just like execute with a shot to the face. There's none of that in this. It made the battles really dynamic, and like in this they just kind of fall over. It's really disappointing, because like that was some of the best. You saw them getting in, and like you had people doing this, but then you had other people that were like a just whirling dervish of fucking bladed death. And in this, it's just like clonk.
Yeah, it does feel like, certainly with some of the elites anyway, it feels like it's asking you to play a one-player game, as in a single unit. You are an elite.
It's like your Ubes. Because in Ubes they have like one animation, don't they?
Ultimate Epic Battle Simulator.
Yeah, check it out.
Check it out, it's funny.
They've like, all of them have just like the standard strike animation. They just stand next to the other guy, and then occasionally, and then you just go, "Buh." This is exactly the same, and this is a Greenlight indie fucking game.
I don't think it's a Greenlight thing anymore. I think it's just early access.
Oh yeah, Greenlight kind of went away, didn't it? Yeah,
kind of got killed off.
But you get my point.
Yeah, no, absolutely. With those elites and the kind of feeling that you're going to do a one-player game, you've got special attacks and stuff, and now the Eldar main character you get, I can't remember their name. Arsha or Sarka? I don't know.
Oh no, they don't. One Eldar mission, because it put me back on fucking Marines again.
Asker, I don't know. But anyway, this main character has like a blade that she can throw and then explode at the target, and then she can call it back. And that's great, but you have to be doing that. You can't just tell the unit to attack that group over there and they will be intelligent enough to do all that. You have to manually do that yourself.
To be fair though, it is counted as a special, but it is on a cooldown, so it could be annoying if it did it itself and you didn't want it to.
Maybe. But what I'm saying is that is something that you have to do manually. There's no automation about it. So, you get limited jumps on some characters. The Eldar can teleport their base units around. The Orcs can use their wire towers and use scrap. And the Space Marines can drop orbital pods in, which can give buffs and things to surrounding troops.
And you can drop them on people as well.
So all of that sounds like good selling points, doesn't it? But
why didn't I want to play this game at all?
Yeah, I didn't. I mean, we both bought the game to do the review because it's a game that looked interesting.
I mean, hands up, I would have bought it anyway because.
Yeah, so it's my misery that's been inflicted.
No, I would have still been miserable,
even if you hadn't played the game.
Maybe slightly.
But the game is just it's that middle of the road. It does enough for it to be. You wouldn't feel like after you finish playing, oh, that was a waste of time. You'd feel like, well, I could have enjoyed my time better.
It kind of feels to me like it needed another 6 months to a year in development.
I don't know. I think development's not going to be the answer to it.
The menu screens are terrible and confusing.
Yes.
There's not enough factions in there. They needed dedicated campaigns for each of the factions. They also had some strange gameplay mechanics in there, which kind of could have been petered out with extensive play testing. So it just feels like it was rushed. I mean, it's like you go to save your game, it doesn't even show your list of save games. So you just put a name in and it goes, oh, there's one already there called that. Didn't show you it though.
Well, I have to say, in terms of the performance, you had a weird glitch.
I did, yes. It was a graphical glitch. And I don't know if I'd saved a game in the middle of a mission and I came back to it, loaded it. And unless I zoomed right in, it was just basically light coming off the map and you could not see anything.
And that's another point I noticed, and you noticed as well, about the zooming. The zooming is like you adjusting your glasses on your nose. There's no difference.
No, I mean,
You can't get up and close and personal, and you can't see a big ass wide view.
yeah, it doesn't go in far enough or out far enough. Like I like in the previous games, you could zoom in quite a ways, so you could like look at the character models.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Can't really do that. You go in, but they're still like this big on a
And
40-inch TV.
yeah, it's not great. And I would think that is probably a restriction on performance or a decision made for performance. If you could zoom right out and see almost the whole map active running, then if you've got a lot of units going on there, maybe it would be causing some resource problems.
Yeah, but I mean, in that case, you just wouldn't go out that far.
Yeah, but there's nothing wrong with getting really close to something.
No, especially as it's not like it's got a separate model in case you want to go up close.
Mm.
It would just zoom it in. It's like in StarCraft 2 in some of the cutscenes where it would like focus on a character's hand as he picked up a drink. They look really low res because it was all done from the same model.
Yeah, so I don't think time would have fixed this. I think
it would have. I think they could have really rounded it. It feels rushed and unfinished to me.
Yeah, I actually think the opposite. I mean, the way it looks doesn't look unfinished.
Well,
I think the arenas that you're playing in look really nice. I think for the most part, the size that they are, the character models look really good. The explosions and stuff happening on screen, the actual activity is alright.
I disagree.
But I have a point to make about that on the other side, and that is there's too much sometimes going on.
It is quite
It can get very messy.
fast-paced.
It can get very messy.
And especially because of the way they're trying to encourage you to be like in multiple places on the map at once, instead of like having a base, then making the base defensible, and then forming attack groups, and then concentrating on like going around killing enemies and then taking down their base. Because you're having to focus on so many different things at once. It might just because I'm old and infirm, but it's really fucking a pain in the ass because you're having to micromanage so much shit, react to so many things at once that you can't really do anything. Like the skirmish match I was playing, I was gradually getting picked apart because I couldn't literally attack anybody because I was so busy having to react to the AI coming at me all the time.
Yep. No, I agree. I mean, playing it on casual feels casual.
That was on casual.
I know, but that's what I mean. Playing on casual doesn't feel like it says what it is on the tin. It feels casual. I hate to think what the difficulty's like on high levels. Because, I mean, things happen so quickly, even at casual level, that you don't have a lot of time to react.
Yeah, it's like grenades. They used to be...
Oh, yeah.
On Dawn of War 2, I think they had like a 3-second timer on it, so you had time to like select your unit and try and move them away. In this, it's just
no
like...
fucking chance.
It's just
game.
like, oh, there's a... Oh, fuck.
I had a particular mission where there was some kind of orbital event happening, right, that they called down, big area attack, and because I'd moved my camera maybe half a screen to one direction, that was then my focus. I was focused on these fuckers that had the grenades and shit I knew was going to be a problem. I turned back and my entire rest of my 20-something units has just been wiped out. I had no warning of that coming down and attacking. Okay, fair enough, but don't make it an insta-kill. It's ridiculous.
Well, to be fair, it is an asteroid.
See, here's the voice of reason, but at the same time, okay, it would be an insta-kill, but we're playing a game here, right? And that's not for the benefit of someone else to command asteroids at me. It's just not fair.
Yeah, but if you shot like an amount of units with your orbital relay as a space marine or whatever, would that have been an insta-kill as well?
Well, I'm pretty sure when I've had the orbital stuff as space marines, they haven't worked that quickly. That's what I mean. I just turn around like, guys, get him, boys! Boys?
Just a crater behind it.
It's just horrible. So that bit really annoyed me. I mean, I think in general, you may think it's rushed, but I think it's like a game that's 5 years old. It feels dated without actually being dated.
Yeah, so do you not think it could have used more time in development?
No, because I don't think what they've got there they could change enough to be something that's like up to date and topical. Saying about Warhammer 40k. I mean, we're not up to date and topical compared to 40k.
Well, no, I think they just released a new version actually. So no, we're not.
But what I mean is, it feels like the kind of game you'd see 5 years ago, and it doesn't do anything new enough for me.
I just think it's not as good as either of the two previous ones. If you were more of a fan of the sort of almost action RPG elements of 2, then play 2. If you wanted to do base building and like turtle up and then Zerg Rush, it's 1 defo. And like all the expansion packs that came out for like the first one, oh my god, there were so damn many. I had Winter Assault, Soulstorm, oh god, there were tons, and then there was enough for 2 as well. It's like it added so much more content and, more importantly, so much more story, especially the second one.
So do you think that this game has actually been drawn back because the amount of work they've put in for that future DLC is going to make it a complete game?
I can't see why they would only have 3 factions. There were more factions than that in the first Dawn of War vanilla.
Well, I think, being cynical, maybe that's what they're trying to do.
Yeah, I mean, either they've... Well, it's like I say, I think it's because they've rushed it, and then they've gone, well, that's okay, we can just sell that and, like, chaos later, it's fine.
Yeah. So, yeah, it kind of gives me a heavy heart to see a game like this. It's got such a rich universe of everything, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
being used as a camel.
40k is just such a fantastic setting, and then to see this just mediocre game come out of it, especially when the first 2 were really, really good. This just doesn't feel like it's gone forward. In fact, it feels like it's gone backwards.
It's almost like we're not shitting on the game. We're disappointed, which is far worse.
Yeah, we're not angry. We're just disappointed.
Yeah, yeah. That's the feeling I'm getting, because although I'm not an massive fan of RTS games, I like games that are made well, and you know, give you the option to play well inside the game, give you options to enjoy your time with the game, you know. And this just makes me feel like that friend you know that doesn't quite give you any enjoyment being around, but they're not terrible people.
Hi.
And they have hair.
Oh, not
But those, you know, it just doesn't. It doesn't complete you as a gamer. It's not like, oh, have you played the latest Dawn of War and expect a good response? They'll be like, no, it looks shit.
Or they'd be like, it's okay.
Yeah, it's beige. It's Dawn of Beige. There we go.
Yeah, pretty good description there. I mean, certainly if
50 Shades of Beige.
If you play like StarCraft 2 and then come to this, you're going to be like,
why did I move? Why did I waste my time changing?
I'm so going back.
It's, yeah, I haven't got a bad thing to say, I think, about how it looks and the voice acting.
I don't think it looks like a modern game.
That's why I said it looks 5 years old, but the environments and stuff for me look okay.
That's a bad thing we can say about the way it looks.
No, but I like the way it looks. I'm just saying it is 5 years old. Maybe I'm just stuck in the past. I don't know.
Fair enough. But I think what it comes down to is Blizzard have just released StarCraft and the Brood War expansion for absolutely nothing. You can go and download that right now.
Ow, that's a mic drop moment, isn't it?
So you can get the original StarCraft ahead of its remaster coming out, along with the expansion, which was also excellent, and play a far better RTS for no monies at all.
That's a Blizzard, you bastards, really, aren't you? You can squish people like ants.
Well, they are bringing out remastered versions of it, so.
Well, there you go. So, final score out of 10 then for Dawn of War 3.
It's going to have to be the same as a squad of Marines. 5.
Harsh.
Well, it's bang in the middle. It's just like, yeah, it's alright.
And that's someone that hasn't come to be disappointed by the previous 2, and the ignorance gives them an extra point from me, I think.
So it's 6.
Yeah. I think it's middle of the road. I don't think it's worth full price. Especially if games like StarCraft 2 expansions are coming out for free.
StarCraft 1, the first
one.
one.
Sorry, StarCraft 1. I don't think that you will get your money's worth out of this game at the moment. If it came down to £15 to £20, I'd say it's probably worth picking up if you're a fan of the universe. But then again, you're not going to see most of the universe in this game unless you have all the potential DLC that might come out going, oh, we can play as
Yeah, I
Chaos
mean,
now.
I don't know what Games Workshop is doing when it comes to its
I don't
games,
think they know what they're doing.
because they seem to license to anybody. There are so many like Warhammer 40k games on Steam at the moment, and most of them are reskinned pieces of trash. Like, there's tons of strategy games like Sanctus Reach, just boring, less than mediocre games, and they just seem to be throwing their license around. I don't understand why. I mean, we got a bloody chess game. We got an App Store game that was re-released on the PC. We've had the recent Deathwing Space Hulk game, and that was a bit better, but it still has its problems.
I don't think they're looking forwards. I think there's damage limitation most of the time.
I mean, they won such a run. You had Dawn of War 1 and 2, and then you had the excellent Space Marine that they released as well, which did have Mark Strong in it.
Good on in Mark Strong we trust.
Mark Strong we trust, except when he's being Sheriff of Nottingham, or whatever it was. That was pretty bad. Come on.
I don't know.
That was the Ridley Scott Robin Hood. That was terrible.
All right, I haven't seen that.
I don't want to see What's-Her-Face having her feet washed ever again.
That's a lovely tangent. But to bring us back on to the end of the video, and just our final thoughts here, I just wish that it would have had the killer moment in the game, which I don't think it did.
No, I mean,
there's nothing to make me go, that was cool.
I mean, if you look through like any of the source books that Warhammer 40k is based on, like the Space Marine source book, you look through it, it's got all of these vehicles and units and different things, and it's just like, in there you get 4 infantry types and 4 or 5 vehicles, something like that.
I think I would liken this game to peeling potatoes.
You'd rather someone else did it and then they result in chips afterwards.
Kind of. It's the bit you have to do to get to the good bit.
Yes, I agree. I don't like the chips with the skins on. They're horrible.
But it's a job you have to do to get to the thing you want to do. And it's the bit that game doesn't really have the bit you want to eat at the end of it. This game is purely the peeling of potatoes.
I don't
it's
know
kind
where
of
this metaphor's going.
I'm just saying it's a job that's necessary. I mean,
peeling potatoes was given as a punishment.
I know, and this game did feel like a punishment.
Right, fair enough. I just didn't want to play it. I was stunned because I love.
So if I said to you, play Dawn of War or peel some potatoes,
Dawn of War.
I peel potatoes.
I want to get my hands lovely and soft.
But yeah, that's our final thoughts, I think, unless you've got anything else to say.
Yes, more factions please, and don't charge us for them, you bastards.
I'll work on some mechanics, like patrols and shit. I think that might work.
Oh, and turrets. How about letting us build turrets? That was good in the first game. And the second game, actually.
And maybe decrease or increase the amount of power you can get from listening post resource points. That would be good.
And have a campaign for each of the factions. Because, I don't give a shit about someone I played 4 missions ago.
Yeah. I think we're going back to what we said before.
We did, we're just reiterating. So, if you've gotten this far, you could have just watched this end bit. So, well done, lads.
Yeah, so learn a little note for future, watch to the end.
No, just watch the end.
No, watch all of it.
Well, no, because it's like a data blast.
But guys, that's been our review of Dawn of War 3. Warhammer 40k. Is it first? Warhammer 40k, World War 3?
Yeah, I think it's for Paris because it's prefaces everything.
Because even that's long and uninteresting.
Yeah, it's first.
Warhammer 40k, Dawn of War 3.
There we go.
Terrible name. But guys, thank you for watching, and don't forget we have videos out every Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday. All lots of lovely stuff for you.
And don't forget we also have Batman coming in to film for us.
Yes.
The actual Batman.
The actual Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool. But don't forget to smash the like button, otherwise Batman will come and kill your family.
He doesn't kill.
Yes, he does. It's been proven. Anyway. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and we shall see you next time after we recover from talking about a game we just don't really care about.
Really don't.
So don't care. But guys, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Take it easy, guys.
Okay, love you. Bye-bye.
He's spending 60% of his life locked in his fucking car shooting the same things over and over.
Okay, that's a good point. We'll come on to this now. So, in this game, we now have access to... I don't know if it was in the last game or not. I didn't play that one, but the risk is much higher as well.
Yeah, it's not just a PvP area either. It's an area that allows PvP, but there are AI enemies in there, and they're all hella tough. It's definitely designed for cooperative play in there.
Yeah, and I'd actually suggest